For today, I imagine there's no countries. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Monday night. We're going to do some cards. So come on in. Make yourselves to home. I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman, and we are going to be doing some mini medicine card readings from the medicine card deck. This is a deck that was created by Jamie Sams and David Carson. Jamie Sams was Native American, part of many different tribes, actually. And so the cards, each card has a different totem animal, and each animal has its own medicine. Not medicine as in like the way Western thought. We think of medicine, we think of pills and meds and all of that. But according to the Native American thoughts, indigenous thoughts on medicine, medicine is energy, power. It is the unique energy that a person or a species brings to this world. So that is why they are called medicine cards, kind of the same way a medicine man or woman are called medicine people. Not necessarily they are healers, but that's not all they do. So come on in, let me know you're here, say hi, give me a heart or two, let me know you're there. Realizing how much I cannot depend on the little number up in the corner of the screen or Facebook to tell me how many people are here and all of that. So come on in, say hi, welcome. I'm just lighting a little bit of sage so I can smudge my cards. I've been down, as every Monday, I was down in Tacoma at Crescent Moon Gifts doing readings today. And I hurried home. Kind of. I was almost late for this because my poor Kit Kat doesn't have any cat food, and the store shelves are pretty barren as far as the cat food goes. So poor Kira had to settle for tuna tonight. Anyway, so welcome. Come on in. If you are new here, what we do is I pull 3 of these beautiful cards, and you get to choose a number between 1 and 3, and whichever number that you choose corresponds, okay, let me start over again. Whichever card corresponds to the number you chose, that is your guidance for the week. So I will pull 3 cards, and then I will go through them one at a time to do a miniature reading, what that card, what that animal's medicine is about. And feel free to choose more than one. You can choose 2 or even all 3 cards if you'd like. There are no rules, only guidelines. So do what your little heart desires. Sometimes we need all the guidance we can get. And honestly, if you're watching this, if you watch the whole video, even so, if you watch this whole video, the one that, the number you chose is the kind of the focus or the main information, but they all have information for you. All of the cards do. So pay attention to what resonates with you, what catches your attention, even if they aren't the cards you chose. Okay, so oofda, I'm kind of tired tonight. I'm just realizing that. Shuffling the cards, shuffling, 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 shuffling. Again, come on in, say hi, welcome, and we will see which animal critters volunteer to come help us through this coming week. And if you enjoy this tonight, you know I am always available. Well, not always. I have office hours. But I am available for personal readings, of course. If you enjoyed this, if you like my style of reading or you like these cards and everything, check out my website, perchingwolfstudios.net. And I finally got a thing where you can actually sign up on my website for an appointment. So you don't even have to, it's no fuss, no muss, no muss, no fuss, whatever that is. And presto changeo, we can do a session together. And I love reading. I love my job. I love this work. I get to help people and people help me. It's this mutual support, mutual healing. I get to witness this magic of people finding their own hearts, finding their own way. It is the best job in the world. And I love it, love it, love it. So thank you for making that possible. Thank you for supporting me by watching these videos and sharing these videos far and wide. And I am here to support you as well. So like I said, check out my website, perchingwolfstudios.net, and see what kind of shamanic services I offer. I do the readings, of course, and then like things like soul retrieval and fairy doctoring, and also kind of something that has been coming up a lot lately, something I learned when I took the training to learn soul retrieval from Sandra Ingerman. She also taught us what she called soul remembering. And soul remembering is similar to a soul retrieval, except that instead of bringing back soul parts that might be scattered hither and yon because of trauma, I actually journey back. My guides take me back to the point just before a person was born, when their purpose and their intention in incarnating in this life is still fresh and vibrant. And then that is what I retrieve rather than the soul parts. I kind of retrieve someone's purpose, if you want to call it that, to help them, the soul remembering, to help remember from their soul why their soul decided to come in this time. It's really powerful stuff, beautiful stuff. I highly recommend it, even if I'm not the one who does it. I think it's important. I think pretty much anyone in our society probably needs a soul retrieval of some sort or other. So I'm actually got plans to do I'm gonna start doing some like video series on different shamanic things, healings, and different techniques. And I am hoping tomorrow, if I can get my act together, I've got my microphone already, and I'm going to try to finally get going on my shamanic podcast. So stay tuned for that. All right, one more shuffle, and then we're going to go. I like giving a little extra time at the beginning just so people can come in, realize that we're live. And so here we go. Choose your numbers, 1, 2, or 3. All right. Wow, okay. Got your numbers? Here we go. Number 1. If 1 was your number, you got the mouse. Squeaky, squeaky. Mouse is about keeping it small, keeping it simple. You know, especially when there's things going on in the world, such as what's happening like in Ukraine and that kind of thing. It's easy to get caught up in the news and pay attention to the news and get, you know, it up, almost prioritizing what's going on another part of the planet rather than what's going on right in front of you. And yes, we need to be informed, but we don't need to be inundated. I think I heard that on The Secret. I think that's where I heard that before. But it's good to know what's going on. But again, it's about thinking globally, acting locally. You know, just like the environmental movement, like in the 80s when Earth Day became such a big thing, the big phrase was think globally, act locally. And it goes for the situations in today's world as well, because if we're trying to, you know, holding our breath, trying to change what's going on over there, worrying about how that is going to affect us, then we're not really present, right? And the best thing that we can do for the rest of humanity is be present. Be here now, right? Our job as light workers, as light warriors, is to anchor the light. The whole point is to anchor the light here on the planet, right? We're not supposed to be off someplace out there, out in the cosmos and the galaxy. You know, that's all fine and good, but it's pointless if you don't come back here. You chose to be born here for a reason. You chose to be in a body for a reason, to actually be in a physical body. And so it's kind of counterintuitive, because the only way to affect what's going on somewhere else is to be present in your own life, be present in your own skin, act with kindness. I've been saying this a lot lately. It's like, it may seem as insignificant as a drop in the ocean, but you have to remember that the entire ocean also exists in a drop of water. And every act of kindness here ripples out into the collective web that is humanity, right? And if you believe that everyone is divine in nature, then the only way to change things is to act as though you are divine in nature. Act kindly to those around you. Spread the smile, spread the laughter, give encouraging words, whatever. Tip your waiters a little extra money. Because if we sit at home caught in fear and depression and all of that, that doesn't help the cause, right? That just adds more chaos to what's already going on. So be be the light you want to see in the world. You know, it may seem insignificant, like, well, how is smiling at a stranger on the street going to affect what's going on in the Ukraine? But every little bit of love, of upliftment, of light, affects everyone. We're all connected. And if we're all connected, then everything you do is significant and affects everything else. Because just like I talk about the holographic universe, and how a hologram, every part of a hologram contains the entire hologram. Like in the 80s, they had those bookmarks, with the dolphins jumping, the holographic bookmarks. If you took one and like cut it into 3 pieces, you had 3 complete images of the dolphins jumping. You didn't just get the back end, the middle, and the front end of the image. You got 3 complete images because every part of a hologram contains the entire hologram. The entire human race exists within you. Just like I just said with the drop of water in the ocean contains a drop of water, but that drop of water contains the entire ocean. You contain the world within you. What you do, what you think, what you say makes all the difference in the world, literally. I lead a pipe circle, a sacred pipe circle on Sundays at Stargazer's Metaphysical Shop in Bellevue. If you're local, come on in at 11 to 12 on Sundays. And I was just talking about, I may have brought this up before, I don't remember, but there was one of my favorite shows of all time was a show called Early Edition. And it was, I think, in like the early 90s. And it centered around this guy, Gary Hobson, who was living in a hotel because he had just gotten divorced and his ex had kicked him out or whatever. And all of a sudden, he started getting the newspaper on his front doorstep, along with a cat. And no one ever explained why the cat was there, but the cat always showed up with the paper. But anyway, when he looked at the paper, it wasn't today's paper. It was the paper from the next day. It was tomorrow's paper, early edition, right? And so he felt it was his duty to read the paper, a day early to find out what went wrong, and he would run around and try to correct like accidents or crimes or whatever to try to put things into place better. And so one day he gets the paper, and there were 2 significant events. There was a plane that was going to crash after takeoff at the airport. And in another story, there was a little girl who was going to get hit by a car on her bike and be killed. He couldn't do both. The airport was way across town. Chances are he wouldn't have gotten there on time. Even if he had gotten there on time, how are you going to stop a plane from taking off? And so he chose, over the, 100 some people who were going to die in this plane crash, he chose the little girl because she was closer, easier to get to. Still feeling totally bad about the plane, but he did rescue the girl. She still got hit, but not killed. And so she ended up in the hospital. And so he's sitting there with her in the hospital, and he looks up, and there's this man in a pilot's uniform coming down the hallway towards them. And it turns out the pilot of the plane was the father of the little girl. And when she got hurt and taken to the hospital, they called him and they put the plane on hold so that he could come see his little girl. So by acting locally, he took care of the bigger picture as well. And I know you can say, oh, that's just a TV show, but life really works that way. We really are connected, and we never know how what we do is going to affect someone way across the world You know, there are so many, especially when you start paying attention, when you start to, you know, on your awakening journey, whatever you want to call it, on your spiritual path, the synchronicities are crazy. And, you know, at first people get kind of freaked out, like, oh my God, I just thought of that person and they just called me. And, but when you get into it, it's like I literally navigate my life according to the synchronicities. And, you know, when you smile at a stranger, it might be the grandmother of someone that, you know, over there or whatever, that we are so connected. And the universe sees that bigger picture. We can't possibly conceive of the way that we're connected when we're in our physical bodies. So that's another aspect of mouse medicine, is that faith, that by taking care of your own little world, you know, Mouse's world is this little bubble, not very big, but by paying attention, by being present, he adds to the bigger world. He doesn't worry about the cat that lives 2 yards over. He just, like right here, right now. And like I said, it doesn't hurt to know what's going on in the bigger world, but know that there are no accidents. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. You're in the right place at the right time, and you are there for a reason. Because whatever synchronicities are drawn to you, spider web out, connecting to everyone else. So it's trusting that by taking care of yourself, you're taking care of humanity. So don't sweat the small stuff. It's all small stuff. Just take care of yourself. Don't let yourself be overwhelmed. Navigate one step in front of the other. That's all you need to worry about. One step in front of the other. You put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking across the floor. That's it. It's one step in front of the other. And even like, I think it was, I have this thing with quotes. I love quotes, but I can never remember them exactly, and I never can remember who said them. But someone, I think it might have been Martin Luther King, said something about, you know, when you're going up the stairs, all you need to be able to see is the next step. You're not given the whole staircase. Or like a GPS system, you know, they don't give you all the, okay, go 500 feet, then turn left, and then go a mile, and then turn right, and then go 3/4 of a mile. They give you one step at a time, knowing, and so you just go one step at a time, trusting that the bigger map, that the route is taken care of, that you put in your destination, and step by step, you're going to get there. So put in that destination, set your intentions, you know, manifest, set your intentions, what you want to manifest, and then trust, surrender, let go, and trust the intuitive hits that you get that guide you one step at a time toward your goals, okay? Keep it simple. Simplify, simplify, simplify. That was Thoreau. I know that one. Anyway, so number 2. If 2 is your card, we got the Whale. Whale is the record keeper. It is, the stories say that Whale sings the history of the world in her song. And what I find extremely interesting about that is that years ago I read an article in like Scientific American or one of the, like an actual science magazine, and they were talking about the whale songs and how they remained the same year after year, except there was always a little extra tacked on to the end. Every year, there was a little extra tacked on at the end. I was like, oh my God, it's true. And so it's said that Whale sings the history of the world. Whale is the record keeper, which is interesting too. If you know anything about that, I don't remember his name, that Japanese doctor who did the study about messages in water, where he would speak words of love and encouragement into water and then freeze it and then take pictures of the ice crystals, or he would he would say words of like fear or threat into the water and then freeze it and take pictures of the ice crystals. And if the words were of love and connection, it was like a beautiful snowflake pattern. If it was fear or threat or violent, it was just misshapen and ugly and not connected. Water is like a giant crystal. I don't know where that came from. That's what my guys just told me to say. But water holds information. And I know I used to get the Gaia channel, and there's all kinds of really cool programs on there and things about the alien races that have come down and ancient astronauts and all of that. And one of the races that they said came down was the race of giants in the north, which probably gave rise to the frost giant myths of the Norse, right? But they were the record keepers, and they went specifically to the north to infuse the water and the ice with information, almost like they were, computer chips or something. They would infuse this information into the water. And so Whale is the keeper of that information, keeper of the history of the world. What that means for you, if this is your card, if you don't already, I highly recommend that you journal. Or if you don't like to write, find some kind of creative outlet to express your personal journey, your personal hero's journey. It's by keeping track that we get traction, right? By keeping track of where we were, where we are, where we're going, we have that line of progression. So we actually know that we are changing, that we are growing, that we are getting somewhere. We're not just spinning our wheels. When we don't write things down or keep track, keep records, then it all just stays up here in the ethers, rumbling around the hamster wheel. And it's important to take these things and actually manifest them into a physical form in words or art or song or something. Some of you might know, do I have any of my, shoot. I didn't know I was going to talk about this, so I didn't prepare, but I'm a cartoonist as well as a shaman, and I make comics. I draw comics about my life, about my shamanic journeys, about my interaction with my guides. And it is, to me, it is such a powerful way to keep track. I mean, it's kind of like my own journal. And I can look back, and even if I'm not reading what I wrote, I'm looking at the pictures, and just the pictures alone are bringing back the emotions and the remembrance of, oh yeah, that's what I was going through, and look at where I am now. It gives me that sense of progress, that sense of accomplishment, that sense of confidence in myself that, yeah, I've been through some crap, And look, I'm through it. I'm dealing with more crap now, different crap, but if I could get through that stuff, I know I've got what it takes to get through this stuff. Not just get through it, but to actually thrive, to grow, to become stronger and more confident. So it's important, if this is your card, it's important to, what it's really about is finding your voice. And this might be out of your comfort zone, but it's time to share your story, right? The other thing about water is it's like the best conductor of sound waves. A whale can be singing on one side of the planet and be heard on the other side of the planet because the sound waves just go forever in the water. And so it's time for your voice to be heard. It's time to find your song, find your voice, and let it go. Now, you're not responsible for how people receive your voice. You're not responsible for what people think or how they express or how they receive it. You are just responsible for presenting it. But this is your gift. This is the gift you have for yourself, and it is the gift that you came into this world to share. You have been through things. You have a story to tell. You have been through things, and your story has value to others. Like your story, I was just listening to a recent podcast from Sandra Ingerman, The Shaman's Cave, if you've ever heard it, talking about the roadmaps and how we don't really have roadmaps anymore for our spiritual journeys. And so your story and what you did to come through it, and the times of confusion and the times of doubt, and yet finding the courage to move forward and to come through that darkness into the light, that is someone else's roadmap. You didn't experience those things for your own sake alone. They were for your own sake, for the learning of it, for the growing, for the becoming more of who you truly are. But you also came through that experience to create that roadmap for others to find their own way. And that's another thing about this card. If you see the star up here, that's actually the dog star Sirius. And according to the mythology, that is where whale is from. And so whale has Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky. That is whale's home. And so whale always has his bearings. He always knows where home is. And so by telling your story, finding your voice, sharing that outward, you're going to help other people find their own North Star. It's not about showing them the way so they can be like you. It's about inspiring them to hear their voice, to find their story, and connect with their own North Star. Okay? Number 3. If 3 is your card, dun, da, da, you got eagle. Eagle is basically the presence of Great Spirit. Eagle is the highest flying bird, kind of untouchable, unreachable, and what everyone aspires to be. If this is your card, even if you don't realize it, people admire you. People, you have more influence than you think you do. Up there, just like when you're in a plane and there's turbulence, like looking at the plane from the ground, it's like, oh, it's so smooth, it's just zooming straight over. And the plane inside could be shaking and rattling and right? Eagle might be up here kind of like doing the same, kind of like adjusting for the air currents and the columns of air. I can't, what do they call that? The thermals. That's it. They ride the thermals, and I'm sure it gets kind of a shaky ride sometimes. But from the ground, others looking at you, all they see is this beautiful bird, smooth, soaring flight, you know. And it just, something popped into my head. I used to go to, I have a friend who channels Jeshua. That's another name for Jesus. And they used to live locally. I used to go like every month. And there was something Jeshua said one time to us that if we were there, if we were listening, that, you know, we were at a point, and I offer this to you. You are at a point where on your worst days, you feel, you know, and this so resonates with me. It's like on your worst days, you feel like you're crap, like worthless, like, oh my God, what am I doing here again, right? Oh my God. And you feel like you're just bottom of the heap, right? But actually, your bottom of the heap is still higher than most people's high. That's why we are the light workers. That's why we are the cutting edge, cutting like the fringe. We are the ones who have gone ahead to make it safe for others to follow us. And so us on our worst days are still higher than most people on their best days. And if nothing else, just because we're more aware. It's that awareness that makes the difference. And so others look at us like, what, how can they be, why is their life so smooth, and all these miracles that happen and all of that? Meanwhile, you're like, oh my God, I need a coffee or whatever. Know that you're doing better than you think you are. Know that you're much higher than you think you are. You are at a higher frequency than most. And I had a vision one time of Eagle. I was in a meditation, and Eagle came to me, and what he said was basically, let others believe they are birds of the field. The sky is your home. The sky is your home. And it's by opening your heart that you spread your wings, and then you're carried on the wind of the mother, the breath of the mother. The winds carry you. Eagle flaps very little. They soar. They basically lay their wings over the shoulders of the wind, and the wind carries them. That's no effort. And it's by opening their heart that they ride the winds. So believe in yourself. Know that the words that popped in my head, you are mighty. You are powerful. You are doing better than you think you are. Even on your worst days, you are the inspiration of others. So trust the winds. Trust the winds to carry you. If you're trying too hard, if you feel like you're just flapping and flapping and flapping and not getting anywhere, just spread those wings. Surrender. You're not meant to fly on your own effort. the wind's spirit is supposed to carry you. And so it's by that surrendering into who you are, surrendering, opening your heart, that you're then carried above everything else. And that gives you that perspective. You can see the whole panorama of the earth laid out below you. And so you can see how everything is connected, that there is a bigger plan, there is a bigger perspective, how that everything fits together and not in a linear way. It's all part of the same, whatever it is. It's all part of the same energy. And at the same time, as you have this wide perspective, you have the ability to focus on a rabbit that is miles away. So wide perspective and focus. It's a both and, not an either or. So know that that is your ability. You know, and speaking as someone who has come through, I went through 10 years of extreme anxiety and panic attacks. And let me tell you, the answer to all of it is surrender. You can't fight it. Every single time that I would start to feel better, I would get my feet under me, it was because I surrendered. Not because I was fighting white knuckle trying to get through it. Trust your path. Trust your spirit. Trust Creator. You are not an accident. You are not here by accident. You have many things to do on this planet. And at the same time, it's more important who you are. Who you are is so much more important than anything you will ever do. Like Sandra Ingerman, I know I mentioned her, I'm not trying to name drop, but I mentioned her a couple times already, but one of my favorite quotes that she said is, "It's not what you do, but who you become that changes the world." So become the light that you want to see in the world. Become Eagle. Know that that is who you are. Your brain might get in the way and make you convince you otherwise, but that doesn't change the truth that you are meant to soar. So those are our cards for tonight. And we have time. If you're new here or haven't been here for a while, each week I try, if I'm not too verbose, I have a tendency sometimes to talk endlessly, but when we have time at the end, I like to do a guided shamanic journey so that you have the opportunity to meet these animals, whichever animal chose to walk with you this week with their guidance and their wisdom. You know, everything I said still comes through the filter of who I am and my relationship to the animals. And so to your ears, it's still secondhand knowledge. It's still hearsay. And so I like to do a guided journey so that you get the opportunity to meet the animal themselves and hear it right from their mouths. And in this journey, I always recommend what I call expectant curiosity. Expect something to happen, but have that curiosity because you don't know what's going to happen. Anything can happen. And I've had a number of people come back to me to say that the animal that showed up in the journey wasn't one of the ones that came out in the cards tonight. And that's awesome. It's those little surprises like that that validates how real this process is, you know. So whatever happens is perfect. So I'm going to just beat on my drum softly, very softly, so I don't disturb my neighbor downstairs. So just in this moment, close your eyes, take a deep breath in, hold it for a moment, and let it go. Relax into the chair, the seat, or the floor, wherever you are sitting. Feel it supporting your weight, holding you safely. Take another deep breath in. Hold it for a moment and let it go. Continuing to relax, knowing that you are safe in this time and space. And I want you to bring your awareness up to your third eye in the middle of your forehead. And just like it was one of your other two eyes, open it up and look out into your imagination. Find yourself standing on the edge of a forest. You're back to the trees. You can hear the bird song behind you, the soft coolness of the shadows of the trees. And in front of you extends this beautiful, vast meadow. Tall grasses waving in the wind, the buzz of insects, the beautiful colors of butterflies and dragonflies flitting and zipping around. And as you look out into the middle of this meadow, you see a great flat rock, just inviting you to come sit on it. So go ahead, start walking toward that rock, feeling your feet on the soft earth, feeling the tall grasses brushing against your legs, against your fingertips, feeling the warmth of the sun on your head, the coolness of the breeze on your face, listening to the chirping and the singing of insects, watching the many colors flitting about between the butterflies and the wildflowers. And when you get to this rock, go ahead, jump up on top, crawl up there and sit comfortably, feeling the sun-warmed stone beneath you, feeling the warmth of the sun on the crown of your head, and the coolness of a breeze brushing your cheek, feeling comfortable and at home. And it is from here that you notice a river flowing past the rock, gurgling and bubbling to the ocean. And from this place, we invite whichever animal has chosen to walk this week with you. We invite them in. They might come from the sky, from the grasses, from the river. We welcome them. When they show up, feel free to pet them, hug them, whatever seems appropriate. Scratch them under the chin. Thank them for coming, for sharing their wisdom, for sharing their special medicine with you. now I'm going to be quiet for a moment or two as you ask this animal, what is it that they came to help you with? Why did this particular animal volunteer to work with you? Ask them, what is their personal message to you? So it comes time to bid them farewell again. Thank them again for coming. Know that if the message or what they had to say to you was not complete, that you can return to this place at any time. You can rewatch this video, come back to this beautiful rock and meet your animal here anytime you'd like. So thank them for coming. Thank them for sharing their love, their medicine. Give them a final hug or scratch or pat on the head. And let them return to where they came from. Knowing that they are always with you. They may not be with you at this point the way they just were, but they accompany you always. They are always available to you. And if nothing happened, that's all right too. They just couldn't squeeze themselves into this small meditational space. They mean to come to you in a different form. So pay attention to your dreams, to the conversations around you this week, to what photos might pop up on the internet or in magazines or wherever, and trust what comes. So it becomes time for us to return ourselves. So take another deep breath in and hold it for a moment. Let it go. Letting the scene around you fade with your exhalation. Becoming more aware of the room in three-dimensional reality. Come back into focus. Ease your way back into your body. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. You can tap on your legs, on your shoulders to bring yourself fully back into your physical self. And when you're ready, slowly at your own pace, go ahead and open your eyes, coming back fully and completely into our three-dimensional reality. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for accompanying me on that journey. I hope you got lots of wisdom and connection. It's just my job is to empower others. And the best way to do that is through experience, not just through words that the ears hear and the mind processes. But when you have an experience, it's a part of you, and no one can take that away from you. So whatever animal showed up, that is first-hand knowledge. And my job is to help you trust what you get. So if you have any questions or you want to share what happened, please, please, please share in the comments. I love hearing what happened. I love hearing people's interactions with their animal guides. You know, even if it wasn't one of these three that came up, that's very cool as well. So let me know if you have questions or it didn't work. Let me know. I might have some suggestions, or I might be able to help you through it. I am going to share this video to my Facebook page and also upload it to my Perching Wolf Studios YouTube channel. So you always have the opportunity to return to that meditation, that shamanic journey, if you would like to. And if you needed more time, or it didn't quite feel right, or your animal didn't show up, please feel free. This is like exercising a muscle, and it's a muscle we don't normally utilize. And so sometimes it takes us a little time of repetition to get the feel of it, to know what we're seeing, or know how we're receiving. Sometimes people see in visuals, sometimes people just hear words. So there's no doing this wrong. Whatever happened was perfect. And if nothing happened, again, you did nothing wrong. Pay attention to your dreams, most of all, in this coming week. Pay attention to conversations around you, like on the bus or in the store or whatever. Pay attention to what articles or photos pop up on the internet. That the spirits will use whatever is most easily available in a language that you will understand in order to communicate with you. So trust your heart when those messages come in. Trust your heart that this is true, this is real, okay? And if you enjoyed this, if you would like a reading of your very own, I would so love to do that. Check out my website again at perchingwolfstudios.net, and you can sign up right there for readings or healings, soul retrievals, different things. Check out and see what shamanic services I offer that might resonate with you. I also do shamanic coaching, kind of like life coaching, but with more of that shamanic extra bonus of being able to connect with our guides and help you through challenges or whatever. I love this work. And I do mentoring if you are a shamanic student or want to study shamanism. I also do one-on-one mentoring. I have a number of classes that I'm hoping to get going in the coming months. So lots and lots of great stuff coming up. So pay attention. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Oh, and my comics, if you're interested in reading my comics and my shamanic journeys through the comics. I post them on a blog, and it's called Drawing Breath, DRAWING BREATH, Drawing Breath, hyphen comic.blogspot.com. And I'll have the links in the information under this video. So you can click on those there and see my latest comics. And what else? Oh, and if you feel so moved, I gratefully accept donations. I have my PayPal link down below as well. Whatever you feel that this might be worth, or you want to you feel moved that you want to offer something, I humbly and gratefully accept. That's one of my lessons in this life, is to learn how to receive. So it took me the longest time to even, I would put my link down there, but it took me forever to actually mention it out loud to people that, yeah, there's a donation link down below if you'd like. So anyway, I believe that is it for now. If you're interested, I also do a live Facebook pipe ceremony on Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock. So join me for that. Otherwise, I hope you come back next Monday, every Monday right here, 8 o'clock. And invite your friends. If there's someone that you think would benefit from this, feel free to tag them in the comments. Share my video far and wide. This has kind of resonated with me tonight. I'm at a point where I'm trying to get my voice out further and further. And so if you could help support me in that and share this video, that would be awesome. I gratefully thank you for that. So anything else? I believe that is it. Now I need to go find something to eat because I haven't had dinner yet. But meantime, I hope to see you soon. Until then, know that I love you, that I see you, and that I honor you. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Know you are not alone, that you have all the guidance that you need, that the universe wants you to succeed. The universe loves you beyond measure, unconditionally. All the support you need is right there. So have a wonderful week. Go shining. All right. Goodbye, everybody.